What would your life look like if you said yes to you? Yes to your dreams, yes to your capability. If you said yes to you even when everyone else was saying no, what would that look like? Well, that's precisely what we're going to explore here today as we really learn how to create your very own self-confidence on your journey to a place I like to call destination manifestation.
Take a step back for the ones who can't do that. Hope I separate from my past.
All right, welcome back to episode 2. I am your host, Brittany Hoops. If you've already subscribed to the show, thank you so much. This is my little baby show. This is episode 2, but I'm so excited to see how it grows. Thank you so much, you lovely citizens of Destination Manifestation. I don't know. I'm trying to come up with a name for the collective listeners of this show. I need to come up with a better name. I actually did some Googling about it. It was very difficult. I don't know. But please know, no matter what I end up addressing you all, I'm speaking to you. And you're incredible. And if you're here for the first time, this is episode 2. And today, like every episode, I'm going to dive deep. And the topic today is self-confidence, how to cultivate it, how to strengthen it, what to do if you recognize that you don't have as much as you want of it, everything you need to know to start believing in your dreams. Because really, I mean, when it comes down to it, belief is such a core component to everything that we manifest. To believe your manifestations are possible, not only possible in the realm of possibility, but are possible for you. That's the kind of beliefs that we want to cultivate so that you go from thinking, oh, well, that's for other people, not me, or wouldn't that be nice, to being like, yeah, that's mine. I can't wait. Like, put it in the calendar, right? Like knowing, that deep inner knowing. That's what we're going to cover today. So I had to add a warning label to this episode, okay? Because by the end of today's episode, oh, trust me, you will be flying high. You will be filled to the brim with confidence. That's my hope and desire for you. And your life might drastically change. And you know, it's funny. I feel like I shouldn't have to say this, but I'm going to, because a lot of people are scared of change. And of course, that's a whole other episode we can do that on. But if you don't want to change, because once you start believing in yourself, you will change. That is part of the game. But I can assure you that they will be positive changes. They might be uncomfortable at first, but that's okay. So I preface all of this by saying that if you don't want to change, even if it's for the positive, go find another episode. There are other episodes that I have, episode 1, episode 3, more episodes that might suit you better. Okay? Good. So this topic of self-confidence actually came from you guys, came from my audience. I asked you guys when I was first launching the podcast, what do you want to hear? What do you want to learn as it pertains to manifestation? And I got a lot of responses that were centered around self-confidence. So I'm excited to be able to share this. Speaking of questions, this is actually really cool. I didn't have it in place when I first launched, but I have it in place now. If you have a question that you want me to cover on an upcoming episode of Destination Manifestation, go to BrittanyHoops.com. That's Brittany, BrittanyHoopes.com. I'll link to it in the show notes. /podcast, BrittanyHoops.com/podcast. Scroll down there you can see every single episode, the top episodes, fun things that you can download on the website. But what I want to direct you to, if you scroll down on that page, is there's a section where you can leave an audio message. How cool is that? And I may include you and your question on an upcoming show. So please share anything you feel, anything about how the show has positively impacted you, any questions you may have, and maybe I'll include it on an upcoming episode. All right. Confidence. It's an integral key ingredient to manifesting the life of our dreams. But what do we do if we just don't feel like our manifestation is meant for us. I mean, I will tell you, I remember that feeling. Like I mentioned in episode 1, if you haven't listened to that episode, be sure to listen to that. I share my whole story of how I got to where I am right now, essentially through manifestation. But one thing I don't think I mentioned during that episode was that when I got on the TV show Big Brother, if you're unfamiliar with me, I was on a TV show called Big Brother, CBS TV show. When I got on that show, I told you guys how I had applied, 7 times, and it wasn't until the 7th time that I got on. But what I didn't mention is that I hadn't really deliberately applied what I knew about manifestation in any sort of concrete way until the 7th time, which was insane. And so when I think back, I mean, here I was, I had applied 6 times, right? Heard no's at each turn. Here I was about to start the 7th time. And I told myself, if I'm going to do this again, first of all, this is the last year I'm applying. Forget about it. Of course, I kind of said that every year, but this year I was like, this is it. Mainly because I wanted to start a family. And I knew that if I had a baby, I did not want to go on Big Brother. But I was feeling so down about myself. Here I was, 6 years. I had tried. I'd heard no's. It felt like, why would they pick somebody like me? I'm just a normal gal living in Texas. Why would they pick somebody who isn't a model or isn't an influencer? Why would they pick me? I'm sure there's thousands, hundreds of thousands of people who apply for this show every year. Are they even going to watch my audition tape? I mean, this was the talk track in my mind, right? Of doubt after so many years of hearing no. And when I say no, you don't actually hear no. Only one year when I got to semifinals, did I hear a no that I wasn't going on to finals. All other 5 years of those 6 previous years, you just don't hear anything. And that's almost worse, to tell you the truth. You're just like, is it happening? And all of a sudden you watch the show and you're not on it. And you're like, okay, well, I guess that's a no, right? And so there's all this doubt in my mind. So how does one get from feeling so doubtful to feeling like, well, of course, this is meant for me? And for me, it was the thoughts that I accepted as true about myself. Because here's the thing, beliefs are just thoughts that you keep thinking, right? They're practiced thoughts. They're skilled thoughts. They're thoughts that are very, that you're skilled at thinking. They're thoughts that are easy for your brain to keep thinking, right? You've thought that thought so many times. You've practiced that thought so many times that it's just efficient for your brain to keep thinking that way. And that's why it feels hard, quote unquote, when we try to shift and try to change our thoughts, because our brain is like, whoa. I haven't done this before. You have to teach me how to do this, Brittany, or insert your name here, right? You have to practice new thoughts. And that's why it feels difficult. My clients tell me all the time, they're like, but it's hard to think this way. And I'm like, I know. That's your brain. It's hard to learn any new skill. And thinking a new thought is a new skill, right? And this is why I love hypnosis. Because with hypnosis, it allows us to relax deeply, to open and soften our mind. Our mind becomes more willing to accept suggestion. That's what hypnosis is, right? As a professional hypnotist, myself, a hypnotherapist, all that I do is I'm a professional thought offerer to you, okay? That's all I am. I offer suggestions to your mind. Now, if I were to just say, believe in yourself, so-and-so, insert name, believe in yourself, Brittany, then you'd be like, no, I don't, right? Conscious mind. Your conscious mind wants to block it, wants to block you because it thinks that keeping you the same is keeping you safe. It thinks, I know how to do this and she's alive. So why would I change up my thoughts? That might put her in danger. That might put you in danger. But we know better. We know that these changes are positive, that are going to help you. But the brain has not figured that out yet, right? Because it's not tried and true just yet. So with hypnosis, what we do is we soften the mind so it becomes more open. It's the definition of open-minded, right? And so when you listen to a hypnosis audio or you do a high-impact hypnotherapy session one-on-one, the hypnotherapist is able to offer you suggestions, offer you new thoughts. And so that's how we can practice these new thoughts, because our manifestations live on the belief side of our thoughts. Our belief draws them into our experience. They match the same frequency, right? Our manifestations exist, and then we will them towards us through thinking a thought that emits that same frequency. And so when the frequencies match, ding, 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 you have a manifestation. It can come right on through. But when you're doubting, you're at a different frequency. You're at a different frequency than the manifestation. And therefore, you're just going to get more of what, doubt brings to you. Doubt essentially blocks that manifestation from coming into your experience. And that's why I love hypnosis, because it breaks down that barrier. And that's exactly what I used as I manifested Big Brother. Here I went from a very doubtful place, and I just practiced in a state of hypnosis. I used a hypnosis recording that I give every single one of my one-on-one clients. If you do a session with me, you will receive this hypnosis recording. And it's only 10 minutes long, but it is the most impactful kick butt hypnosis recording you could ever listen to, because it helps you practice those new thoughts of belief. And I'm trying to remember, there's some point in the recording where I have you repeat what I like to call a hypno affirmation or a hypno suggestion to yourself. And mine was, I am a house guest on Big Brother 24. I am a house guest on Big Brother 24. Now, saying that at first was like, I'm a house guest on Big Brother 24. Like, yeah, right. That's such a pipe dream, right? It felt like, to me. But by the end of it, when I was in the thick of the audition process, it was like, hell yeah, I'm a house guest on Big Brother 24. Of course, I'm a house guest on Big Brother 24. And you can only imagine now with that well, of course energy. How do you think I showed up to my auditions? I was confident. I was myself. I was thinking, oh my gosh, I love this casting team. I love these producers. I love everybody involved with the show, and they love me. We are helping each other. I'm going to give them a great show, and they're going to give me an opportunity of a lifetime. Now, you see that there's a subconscious element to it, right? That you can use through hypnosis, but there's also a conscious mind sort of coaching element that you can use as you boost your beliefs and your confidence in yourself and your ability to achieve your dreams, right? And that's why I don't know too many transformation guides that do this, but I incorporate subconscious hypnotherapy with conscious mind life coaching. If you work with me on one-on-one in a session, you're going to get both life coaching and hypnotherapy in one session, okay? Because it's so important that our whole entire holistic mind is on board with our goals and with our dreams. So this is why I like to incorporate life coaching too, right? And when we're thinking our conscious thoughts, if we don't yet believe, like when I offered that one thought, like I am a house guest on Big Brother 24. If I didn't believe that at first, what would be helpful to do, and what's helpful for you to do as you're building your self-confidence with your manifestation, is to find something I like to call bridge thoughts. Okay. And so for me, here it was, I had just finished watching Big Brother 23. Big Brother 24 was casting. And I watched Big Brother 23 and it just opened my eyes in such an amazing way. All of a sudden, this cast was so diverse. And I saw all these amazing, incredible, interesting people. You know, not everyone was a supermodel. Not everyone was an influencer. And I heard there was a new casting director, and I thought that was pretty amazing. Just seeing so much more diversity. It helped me find some bridge thoughts. Like, they're looking for someone exactly like me. Because I started to believe that. I thought, oh gosh, in the past, I didn't think I fit that mold. But now I feel like I do. And so ask yourself, what evidence do you have about your manifestation, the thing you want to manifest, that you know to be true? Give that instruction to your brain. Allow your brain to look for the evidence that supports why this could be possible for you. For example, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Here's episode 2. We're on a journey together towards destination manifestation, right? So I'm going to share with you my journey too. But just for example, I'm in the process of manifesting and growing my family, right? Welcoming a baby into our family. That's the manifestation I'm focused on right now, right? So if I were to apply this, just to give you an example, what evidence do I know is true that this is possible for me? I ask this to my conscious mind, right? Now, here's the thing, okay? if I were to just go around and be like, la, 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 I'm pregnant. After I just took a pregnancy test and it said negative, false. Like that isn't going to work, right? My brain's going to reject it. Remember I was talking about the brain rejecting the conscious mind, that filter, the critical factor of the mind rejecting a new thought, right? It's not believable, right? There's cold, hard facts of this pregnancy test that says you are not pregnant right now, right? I can find things that are true, such as my hormones are balancing. That's true. I'm working with a nutritionist. I'm seeing changes. My body is making positive changes. That's true too. Plenty of women with PCOS, which is the condition that I have, get pregnant. I don't even officially know I have PCOS. Several doctors have said that I have, but that's not something I can hold in my hand. I'm not tying my identity to that, right? I'm ripping off that label of PCOS and I'm throwing it in the trash can because it doesn't serve me to be thinking of myself and my body in that way. I know my body's capable. My body does so many amazing things each and every day. I know I'm a healthy person. I trust that the universe always has the best divine timing for me. I mean, I look at everything that's mattered in my life thus far. Finding my husband, getting a house, starting my business, getting on Big Brother. I mean, all these major life events, they didn't ever happen on the timing that I wanted. Okay. They were always too early, too late, all these things, right? But they were in perfect timing when I look back at it. So I'm sure when I have a baby, I'm going to look back at this timing and be like, yep, perfect timing. Can you imagine if I would have had the baby any sooner? I wouldn't have been on Big Brother. Or if I had the baby any later, blah, 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 right? I know the universe provides to me in perfect timing. These are all thoughts I believe and know to be true. So what are the thoughts you believe and you know to be true about your manifestation? Focus on those instead. Because here's the thing, when you're focused on those, you're not focused on the thoughts of doubt. We can only ever hold one thought in our mind, like at one, specific moment. Have that be the thought that's going to be more in alignment with what you want. And that's a good bridge thought, right? And you can ease into those bridge thoughts. So ask yourself, what might you want to think about your situation right now instead? And how believable is that thought to you? Okay, I can't tell you how many times I work with clients and they're like, I'm a millionaire. That's what I want to think. I want to think that I'm a millionaire. And I'm like, okay, how believable is that thought to you? On a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being utter belief. 0, I guess we could say, scale of 0 to 10. 0 being like, not cutting it, sister, right? And they're like, 3. And I'm like, okay, your brain's going to reject that, right? And so we can ease into the thought through bridge thoughts. Shifting that thought, let's just use my example of being pregnant, right? As a manifestation, shifting that thought into, I'm considering that my body is changing. I'm considering that pregnancy could be an option for me. Notice how it just sort of eases off the resistance when you start phrasing things like that. I'm learning that pregnancy is a possibility. I'm learning that my body's making positive changes. I'm learning that this is a process of working with my body. It's possible that this could be the month I'm pregnant. It's possible. I mean, we did what you had to do to make it possible. It is possible. Okay. I'm sure my husband appreciates that. Episode 2, already talking about it. It is possible, right? It's possible that I could be pregnant this month. Wouldn't it be fun if I was pregnant this month? Wouldn't it be fun if this was the month? Oh, it'd be so much fun because then I'd go and visit my sister and I could tell her and then we could go shopping and we'd be so excited. Wouldn't it be fun if it happened before the holidays so that when I see my family, I could tell them in person, all these things, right? You can daydream and you see how there's so much less resistance in the idea of asking yourself, wouldn't it be fun if I had this manifestation, as opposed to saying, I have this manifestation. You see how there's less resistance in the daydream aspect of it. Now, again, if you This isn't to say that if you feel 100% good and positive about your affirmation, I mean, go right ahead. Talk about it all day. This episode is about developing confidence, okay? So this is assuming that you are not feeling confident about it and you need to ease into it. It's kind of like getting into a hot tub, right? You don't just jump in fully into the hot tub, right? You dip your toe into it, and then you kind of warm up. Ooh, okay, my toe's feeling fine. Let's put all my legs in. Ooh, I can only go up to my knees. This is too hot. Let's ease in, right? Until all of a sudden you're in the hot tub and you're like, up to your neck and you're fine, right? This is what we're doing with our thoughts so that our mind will believe them, and we're building our confidence along the way. Here's another confidence example I want to give you. Okay. This one, I was in Big Brother. So I'm not going to bore you with all the particular details, but I was in Big Brother. It was the middle of the game. I was closely aligned with my best friend in the house. And long story short, he ended up sharing something with some other house guests about myself that was personal in an effort to try to save himself. Now, of course, this shattered my heart in a million pieces. Okay. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It was tough, especially because this piece of information felt like I had shared it personally and that it couldn't be used for game. But it's Big Brother. People are going to use things for game no matter how you feel about them, right? And so, of course, it didn't help him any at all. He left and I was left in the house. And after that moment, I realized that I only had myself. And even then, my other allies who were still in the house sort of started to kind of distance themselves from me. You're alone at that point. And not only are you alone, which is like very different sort of flavor of being alone compared to just like being out in the real world. Like you can still go to the store, or you could still listen to your favorite music, or you could still talk to a family member. Like you are alone, And I know many house guests beyond even myself had experienced this. In fact, I always kind of hated when it happened when I was not the target and I was there in the house with other people. Like sometimes I would even just sort of like, I don't think I've ever told anybody this, but sometimes I would just like sort of sit on the corner of the bed of where that person was kind of like being alone. And I would just kind of like want to just sort of be close to them in proximity. Sometimes I'd give them gifts. Like I don't know. I just felt so bad. Like sometimes it was just game related and it was like, the person, you don't want to be associated with the person who's the target. So you kind of like you have to distance yourself. But the human part of me just like hated that with every fiber of my being, because it's really a tough thing to go through, being utterly alone without any comfort or support systems. Right. And so sometimes I would just like kind of be close to the person because I hope that maybe my proximity to them would like show them or like telepathically tell them that like, I am here for you. I just can't talk to you right now. Or like, I would try to find times where I could kind of talk to them, like just reaching out for them in some way. But it kind of reminds me of like sort of how like animals go off alone to when they know they're going to die. Like it's like that, but it's the opposite. It's like, imagine if your whole support structure just leaves you alone to die. That's the dramatic way of describing this element in the game, right? Needless to say, it's a very hard experience to be locked in that house, cut off from all your usual support systems and the people who love you, and then to feel alone and to be able to only see 3 or 4 other human beings for a total of what ended up being 336 hours for me. I made it 2 more weeks after that point, where people only really talk to you when they need something from you. I describe all of this so that despite all of it, it was one of the biggest and best things to have ever happened to my self-confidence. And you know why? Because it was the moment that I realized that I only ever 100% have me. There are even times, like there are going to be times I never thought I'd find myself in this situation, but there are times in my life when I'm cut off from the outside world where I can't draw upon the strength and the kind words of my husband or my mom or my best friend. Like there will be times where I need to be strong and I will only ever have me. That was kind of the aha moment that I had there when I was feeling so alone. And if I didn't bet on myself, who will? The answer is no one. Everyone was ready to count me out. No one else but me. And so if you're the kind of person who's always been surrounded by people, maybe you're the kind of person who found your partner like at a young age. Like, for example, I was just 20 when I met Steven, my husband. He was 19. Okay. Like, even though we didn't get married, then we were pretty much inseparable since that point. If you always find yourself surrounding yourself with friends or family, if you don't like being alone, you might not know how to be alone and be self-sufficient. And hey, good for you. Like, what a blessing in life to never have to confront this. But it's a valuable skill to have nonetheless. If it's just you, do you have enough energy? Do you have enough confidence amps within you to be able to power your own belief in yourself? Can you create the thoughts that will power you to pick you when no one else will? Those are the real questions to ask yourself. I'm serious. Will you pick you? Will you pick you? If everyone else counts you out, will you continue to pick yourself? Will you continue to say, yes, I believe in her or him? Yes, I'll go against the grain and I'll say, yes, I'm capable. I mean, like I said in episode 1, don't be the person to say no to you. Trust me, other people will say no to you. Don't you be that person. Because let me tell you, it is the most liberating feeling in the entire world to say, yes, I pick me. Even though everyone in my current reality, literally everyone, because it was like 3 or 4 people, and they all said no to me. I am saying yes to me. I'm worthy of this. Yes, I can do this. No one else may agree, but it doesn't matter. My opinion of myself is the only one that matters. This is one of the main reasons why I don't even listen to what people on Twitter or any sort of comments say, whether it's good, whether it's bad. I don't listen. I mean, I don't internalize any of it. I might see it with my eyes, but it does not go into my body. It does not go into my brain. It stops there, right? When people praise me, I don't take it personal. When people criticize me, I don't take it personal. That goes for Big Brother related things. That goes for business things. That goes for anything, right? Hell, one person might even love me and another person might hate me for the exact same quality or the exact same thing. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten comments that are like, I love you. You're so dumb. Like, what? Like, is that a insult or a compliment? Like, it could be in the same breath, right? Because here's the thing, to my brain at least, and I think that this might be the case for others as well, is that to believe in one side is to believe in the other. And trust me, I tried that for a while. For a while, I tried being like, okay, all the people who say nice things about me, they're true and right. And then everyone who says mean things, they're just wrong. And my brain like couldn't reconcile that. It couldn't compute that because to my brain, it was lumping it all together, right? They were all random people sharing their opinions about me, right? They were all online comments. And so I just decided at some point to just sort of lovingly toss it all aside, altogether. And now the only opinion I listen to truly and internalize truly is my own and maybe my husband and the occasional well-meaning friend. That is it. Because I've decided that my self-confidence and my ability to keep going, to live the life I want, to manifest what I want, to achieve my goals and my dreams is more important than the noise of opinions, because that's what it is. It's all opinion. The topic just happens to be me, and it's all thoughts about me, right? Or about you, right? If you're thinking about criticism and self-confidence, I want you to apply these things too. So ask yourself, which thoughts do you want to inherit? I kind of like to think of thoughts like food, right? There's so much food in the world. Oh, there's so much good food. There is so much nasty food, right? Just because a food exists does not mean you have to eat it. There are plenty of foods I've never eaten and probably never will. You don't have to eat every single bite that you are offered. If someone serves you stinky fish, you can say, you know what? I'm good. I don't think I'm too hungry right now. Thanks. Bye. In fact, you don't even have to be that nice about it. You could just be like, get that nasty fish away from me, right? You don't have to eat the food. You don't have to think the thought. You don't have to internalize a thought that somebody else thinks about you. It is all under your control. And so that's what shifted for me after that double eviction. I found the strength to pump myself up alone, self-sufficiently, not relying on friends or allies to do that heavy lifting for me like I had been used to, because my life was very cushy. I had plenty of support around me. I was constantly bombarded with people who are like, yay, yay, rah, rah, go Brittany, that I hadn't ever had to do that heavy lifting for myself. It was easy. It was easier to just listen to other people and say, oh yeah, okay, great. You believe in me. I'll believe in me too. Until all of a sudden I found myself in confinement, not surrounded by that whatsoever. And I had to create it myself. But once I found that strength, once I decided to bet on me, whew, man, oh man, if you watch the show, you know, it created a monster. Okay. I won that veto comp that week. I got super close to winning the next several comps after. I was very, very close. But in my eyes, I'd already won the best thing of all, which was experiencing a masterclass in self-sufficiency and self-confidence. Because that's the thing. It's self-confidence. It isn't going to be given to you. It is created within the self. Okay. It's kind of like if you get a flat tire out in the middle of nowhere, Texas, let's say, because I'm here. You get a flat tire on your way from LA to Texas. I literally saw tumbleweeds my last road trip. Okay. If you see a tumbleweed and you get a flat tire, you're going to be in trouble for a little bit. And if it's hot outside, you're in even more trouble. How can you be self-sufficient? Not just waiting on somebody else to pump you up. So one of my mentors, Brooke Castillo, she says that confidence comes from your ability to know that you can handle any emotion. Because actually our emotions fuel our action. So if you know that you can handle any emotion that comes your way, and better yet, you know how to allow and then subsequently shift any sort of negative emotions you may be feeling, at that point, you're unstoppable. Because you'll be able to find the emotion that's going to best fuel your action. And I think this is really important to recognize, because when we talk about inspired, aligned action, that's what we mean. It's taking action from a good feeling place. Because when we're feeling good, that fuels our actions to be more supportive for us. I mean, think about it this way. What if you ate a bunch of ice cream before doing a hard workout versus taking your pre-workout, maybe carbing up before a run? I don't know. Using workouts was probably not the best thing for me. I'm not a huge workout person. I don't know if I know this metaphor, but you know what I mean, right? One's going to fuel your body. The other is going to drag you down. That's how our thoughts are. Our thoughts create our emotions. And so these emotions are either going to fuel our action or they're going to drag our action down. Or you might still try to push and do the action. Imagine you eat the ice cream and you still force yourself to do that workout. You might do the workout, but you're not going to do it very well. You're going to feel really sick afterwards, right? This is when our actions towards our manifestations and our dreams start to feel hard, start to feel forced, is when you overly rely on your willpower. You're misaligned. I mean, willpower is all the conscious mind. The subconscious mind is where ease and flow and interconnection exists, not this willpower, right? It's when you force yourself when you're out of alignment, okay? And you're putting more resistance onto your path than you really need to be, than it's really necessary. There is an easier way to do this. Let me ask you this. Are you willing to give yourself that same gift, that same lesson as I had in the Big Brother house? Are you willing to choose thoughts that are going to support you? Now, I want you to think about your manifestation here right now. Just think about it. Really paint that picture of your manifestation in your mind. And just see, where do you fit into that picture? Maybe you're right in the heart of it. Maybe you're right there in the center of all that action. Or maybe you see yourself on the sidelines. No matter what is the case for you, just think about all the reasons why this manifestation was made for you. Why you were made for this manifestation. What qualities do you currently have that align with this being possible for you? Why could this manifestation be the next logical step for you? Why? Find the evidence. Give your brain the instructions to find that evidence and really see, feel, and experience yourself taking charge now. See it there in your mind's eye. Taking a sense of ownership. Where it just feels like, well, of course this is for me. This manifestation, it's just a part of my everyday. It's just a given. It's yours to have and yours to be. And just feel that confidence growing within you. Really, really take a moment. Feel it. Feel the energy of that confidence getting brighter and stronger and bigger. What would it look like to see it glowing and amplifying and magnifying in size, growing and growing and growing within you? What does that feel like? It feels like knowing. It feels like trust. It feels like sureness. It's pure elation. It's resting peaceful at night. It's going to bed and being like, yes, this is happening. I'm excited for tomorrow. What's tomorrow going to bring? It's knowing beyond a doubt. It's just fact. It's the logical next step for you. It's, well, of course. It's excitement. It's not if, it's when. Looking forward to the when. It's planning for the when. It's trusting yourself. It's being your own best friend. It's pumping up your own amp. Okay? It's being self-sufficient. It's being your biggest supporter and your best cheerleader. Because here's the thing, you follow you wherever you go. It's thinking to yourself, I got this. I can do this. I just need to keep going. I stay the course. I stay focused on my goals and manifestations 100%. I can let this all feel easy and align to me. I'm confident about this. This is made for me. This is part of my life experience. It's written in my stars. It's a chapter in my book. I'm so excited. It's going to be so good. And so really just start to see how other people start responding around you now that you have this confidence. They start to see you as the person who you truly are, someone who has their manifestation. That's right. They start to see you as that person. That's who they know you to be because that's who you are. You are the type of person who's manifested this. That's you. That's what you're capable of. They see it. I see it. And now you're starting to see it within yourself too. Amazing work. So thank you, DM journeyers. I don't know. Oh, guys, I have to workshop the name for you guys. Destination manifestors. I don't know. Whoever you are, thank you for being here. You're incredible. If you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to this podcast because next week, we're going to learn all about how you can catch yourself self-sabotaging. If you've ever noticed that you've self-sabotaged yourself, I'm going to teach you how to catch yourself doing that in the moment while you're manifesting something so it doesn't get big and out of hand and cause all this resistance and blocks for you, okay? And one other thing that I want you to do after listening to this episode is this. Visit BrittanyHoops.com/manifestation audio, all one word. I'm going to link to it in the show notes. But my new manifestation hypnosis audio that I just recorded for you guys, chef's kiss. It is so good. It's going to help you solidify everything we talked about today. I mean, it literally is all about increasing your belief in yourself at the subconscious level, the deepest level you can, so that you can manifest a life of your dreams. And it's a free download for you. It's like a 20-minute hypnosis. It's really nice. And it's going to help you build even greater belief in your manifestations. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. I hope you were brimming with self-confidence and you're ready to bring that self-confidence with you as you manifest your wildest dreams. All music for this podcast is by A-Cubed. And be sure to check us out next episode. We're going to tackle self-sabotage. So I'll be sure to see you there.
I don't know. The way for me. stay.